Learning some Latin names. Oh, well, that can be scary. Do you need them? Probably not, but it definitely helps if you do know a few. I mean, let's be honest, what gardener doesn't want to know what the Latin names are if that's their job? But they're a lot easier to do than what you think, a lot easier to remember. I bet there's 100 plant names that you know already and you don't realise that you're using Latin names for them. So it's a little bit strange the way I started, but it's a fact, so I might as well just add it in and explain. A friend of mine, when I was 16, I wanted to be a gardener, and I started gardening the day I left school. And I didn't know anything about Latin names, and the guy who I worked for didn't know anything about Latin names. It was the last thing on my mind. I was just learning gardening and enjoying it. Well, a couple of weeks into my work, into my job, a friend of mine who wasn't a gardener started to talk to me about gardening, and we spoke about a few little plants and things, and I was mentioning ivy, and he said to me the Latin name for ivy, which is Heterohelix, or it could be Heterohelix. Don't worry about the pronunciation. I mean, I'm from Liverpool, so I'll say things different anyway, like hook and hook. Don't worry about it, as long as you get the main gist of it. That said, so he says to me Heterohelix, and I said, what's that? And then he explained it's ivy, and I said, how do you know that? And he said, oh, I was reading it in a book. Well, I'll be honest with you, it made me think. I took a step back and I thought, I'm a gardener and I don't know any Latin names. So I told my boss what happened, and I said I was interested in learning some. So he gave me a book, and the book was just words, no pictures, no nothing, just words, and it looked a bit daunting. But I started with the ones that I dealt with, the plants that I already knew. And what I did was I looked up the English words, the English names, and then found the Latin names. And I really enjoyed it. And I didn't try and learn too many too quick. This is Raby Castle, by the way, in Durham, if anyone's interested. So before we go any further, don't get daunted just because they're different words or long words. For instance, what's this? Cushion. What's this? Okay, dog. You know it's dog, quite short word, but you know it's dog because you've been told it's dog and you've remembered it's dog. Cushion. You've been told it's a cushion, so you've remembered it's a cushion. Remote control. Why? Because you've been told it's a remote control, so you remember it's a remote control. So the plants, let's say privet. I think everybody, come on, if you're a gardener, you know what a privet is. Now, not everyone will know that the privet is ligustrum. So, okay, you learn the English name of the plants first by asking the customers, going to the garden centre, whatever, books, or even nowadays with these phones you can get apps. And if you want to go down that route, that's perfectly fine. So let's say that without learning anything, you can get the apps, take a picture of your plant, and it tells you what it is. I personally want to learn what the plant is, and I want to know what the plant is, but each to their own. That's an option anyway. So okay, these words sound silly: cushion, dog, remote. What's that got to do with plants? They're simply words. You've remembered them, you know what they are. First time you look at one of them, you'll know what it is. So let's take privet. It's a ligustrum. Now, almost every plant has more than one name. It's got the first name, which is ligustrum, and then it will have a species. So it's ligustrum ovalifolium, and then it could even have a third and fourth one, but we don't want to get carried away. Let's just concentrate on the first words, on the genus, the first word. Same as Acer. Now I think everybody, now you should know what an Acer is, which is a maple. So you've got, say, the Japanese maple, which is an Acer. We all know Acer. And again, it's got the second name. So it's, say, Acer palmatum. And then it could have more, Acer palmatum, Atropurpureum dissectum. And it all means something. But again, on this video, it's so short, you can't fit it all in. So really, we're just going to do the basics and just quickly explain what it is. So we know that you use Latin names every day in your gardening, and you don't know you do. Because if you're using the word rhododendron, that's Latin. That's what the Latin name is for it. Hydrangea, that's the Latin name for it. Mahonia, if you know what Mahonia is, that's the Latin name for it. The standard names. Buddleia, there's another one. There's probably a lot more that you're using now. So don't be scared. A good book, I mean the book that my old boss gave me, that was like, we're talking 30 years ago. So I doubt if you could get one of them now. But a really, really good book that I find good and I could recommend is the Dr. Hessian, the DG Hessian books, all the expert books. But the Trees and Shrubs, I still carry one in my van now. I think it's a fantastic book. I'll put a link in the description to that as well. But it's a brilliant book. So easy. It's just, the format is brilliant. And remember, when you do learn the words, try and repeat them as much as possible. A Cuba japonica. Prunus Amanagawa. Hydra Helix Canoriensis Glodimarango. So as you can see here, this is the reason why you have more than one name, because this pink tree is a Prunus, which is a cherry, and it's called Prunus Amanagawa, and this is also a Prunus called Prunus Brilliantissimum. Two totally different trees, but yet the same, Prunus. I think everybody knows a rhododendron, which that is the Latin name for it, so you already know Latin. So this is Pyracantha, and we call that firethorn, and you'll know when you see the thorns on it why it's called firethorn. It's one of my favourite plants, but we've got that one. And then we've got this one, which some people get mixed up with because it's got the word flame and fire and things, which is this, which is the Pyrus, and it's flame of the forest, or forest flame. So you've got this, which is Pyrus, which is a P, Pyrus, and forest flame, flame of the forest. And then you've got the other, which is Pyracantha and firethorn. Ilex and Ilex, which is of course holly. So this is a Cotoneaster, or Cotoneaster, as I say, don't worry about the pronunciation. So this is a Cotoneaster, and then just a few feet away, let me show you this. This is also a Cotoneaster, and you can see the massive difference, and that's where the second name comes in. So they're both Cotoneaster, and then there'll be something else, and I actually don't know what these are myself. So I think that one's horizontalis, but I don't know. Well, this is the book in question, the Tree and Shrub Expert. It's an old one, this one. I think the cover might have changed when you get a newish one. As you can see, it's dog-eared. I just keep it in the van and I look at it. But what I was looking at is, I mean, I've just done this garden, but you'll have to excuse the leaves because I know it's nothing to do with the video. But as everyone knows, the leaves are coming down, so I haven't done the borders itself. But if you look at that border and then look at this, it's almost identical. You know, it's got the rhododendrons there with the corner of the bit there, all these rhododendrons, this conifer, and then all these low growing. I won't go into the varieties now, but all similar to that. Very similar, very similar. But yeah, that's the book. So what are the things you can do? Okay, let's recap. Find out the English name. Learn just the first name, just the first Latin name, and break it down. If it's a long word, like I'll use ligustrum, do it in syllables, ligustrum, break it down, learn that, then worry about the secondary and third name. They'll all come to you once you feel more confident with the first name. So as I say, there's probably 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 that you're using already. So that's a start. Maybe just do one a week, learn one a week, one plant, one new name,
remember it. When you buy a plant from the garden centre, 9 out of 10, maybe not always, but 9 out of 10 times, it'll have the Latin name on the label. Instead of just throwing them away, either keep hold of the label, keep it in your van, or when you're planting the plants, as I say, put the label somewhere. It doesn't have to be on show. And just keep checking it every time you go to that plant. Have a look at the label. So that's it really. It is quite simple. But in the comments, in a later date, in a couple of months' time, come back to this video and just put down in the comments if you have learned any Latin because of this video. I would like to think you did. I'm doing this for a reason. I mean, I already know Latin. So it's for you that I'm doing the video, just to give you that encouragement and that knowledge that it is easier than what people think. Don't be put off by it. So obviously you can comment on the video as soon as you watch the video for whatever reason, but comment later on in a few weeks' time or months' time. Just let me know if you've learned any and if it's been interesting to you, learning them. Okay, well, thanks for watching. And as I say, it's only a short video. It takes 3 months, 4 months, or even a year, depending on what you're doing in college, to learn all this plants and Latin and names and things, you know. So to do it on a quick video, it's just a short one, just to introduce you to it. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you feel better once you've learned a few Latin names, especially the full 4-word names. So let me know. See you on the next video. Thanks very much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed.